Hi everyone, it's Rax bringing you a very important update today. Maxroll has discontinued our Diablo Immortal branch. We're not going to be making any updates, and very soon we're going to be taking down the guides. And this was a team decision that we made, and a lot of thought went into this. And I'd like to give you some background from Maxroll's perspective on exactly how this came about. So the first thing I'm going to start with is a little history lesson on Maxroll, if you'd care to hear it. Otherwise, maybe I'll put timestamps in the video and you can skip ahead. I want to tell you how Maxroll was formed, and Diablo Immortal was one of the first games that we ever worked on in the series of events that led us to canceling the branch. So let's start by going back, and let's talk about how Maxroll formed. So if I go here and I go to the team page, let's go to management. It all started with this guy right here, Alex. Alex had a vision, and he said, I want to make a website that covers ARPGs and tries to make the best guides on planet Earth. That's what he wanted to do. Alex is a German boy, so he went to Diablo 3, which is a game that he really enjoyed, and he looked at the content creators there for Diablo 3, particularly the German content creators, and he noticed two very famous ones. If you played Diablo 3, I'm sure you know them, SVR and Rob. Okay? So he talked with SVR and Rob. SVR is a major theory crafter, and Rob is an Omega Blaster from that game. And they said, let's make Maxroll, let's make the best guides, and they were in. They quickly discovered, okay, we cannot do this by ourselves. We need more help. So we're going to hire 2 more people. We're going to get someone from North America, and we're going to get someone from Europe. So they did some research, and they said, the person we want from North America is me. There I am. And the person that we want from Europe is Wudijo. So there we go. We got our team, and here we go. So we started working on Diablo 3, and we very, very quickly realized that this is way, way too hard for the amount of people that we had. So they said, all right, who should we get? And I said, let's get my brother, Facefoot. He'd be a super good pickup. And they kind of looked at me like, Rax, you want to get your brother on the team? That sounds stupid as hell. I said, nah, man. He was a professor at a university. He's a very good teacher. He would be amazing for this, and he knows Diablo. I'm telling you. They had an interview with him. They hired him. It's gone very well. So there's Lee. And then we also picked up Northwar. Northwar is a huge Omega Blaster. He's a Russian troll. He is a super amazing player. Picked up Northwar, and now we had a really rock-solid team. We picked up Riker not long after that, and of course we picked up Chewie after that, and Chewie's an absolute machine. And we had been blasting D3 forever. Then we moved to Immortal, and here's where this comes in. So now let's talk about how the timeline went for us on Immortal. So BlizzCon 2018, they announced Immortal. You want to know what our feelings were about the announcement? The same as your guys' feelings. We didn't want a phone game. We thought it was really dumb. We wanted Diablo 4, blah, 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 blah. We have the exact same ideas that you have. But if we're going to make guides, Diablo Immortal is the next game coming out in the Diablo series. We can't instantly dismiss the game before it even starts, right? So then the tech alpha was released, and the tech alpha was very, very short, and it essentially just let you log into the game and play it for 2 seconds. You pretty much could just move around and shoot and just do a dungeon and a challenge rift, and then you're done. When we got this far, our hopes actually started to rise because the game actually wasn't too bad. You know, it's like, oh, this is a Diablo game. Oh, I can move and shoot now that I'm, we're playing on a phone and not the PC beta. And that dungeon was kind of cool. Okay, so it's not just this super cheap, shitty phone game. This is better than we thought it was going to be. So now we can at least build our ideas around covering this game, and let's see how it goes. So with that in mind, we were prepared for when they actually released the real alpha to erupt. So we had a team of myself, Rob, EchoHack, and my brother, and we dominated, man. Again, I've talked about this in my other videos. We don't need to talk about the same things 100 times over and over and over. But the alpha was the best version of the game that we had ever seen. It was fun. It rewarded gameplay. There was no pay to win. There was no resonance, none of that bullshit. It was may the best person win. Grinding was super rewarding. We did all the zone events. Okay, we've explained this a million times. We spent so much time playing this, and we had so much fun, and we made so many friends that, you know, like we said here, it's the best version of the game we had ever seen. There was none of this nonsense, and we picked up a bunch of people who were also blasting the game to Maxroll, who became incredible teammates of ours. We had Lexi, Dread, Echo, Greg, and now we had a real full lineup here, and we started to really ramp up our guides because people, you know, were starting to consider us like the top source for Diablo Immortal information like we had been for Diablo 3. So one thing that needs to be said that people have been talking about, and we think it's a fair point, so we put it in the article. People say that all the blasting that you guys did in the alpha, all the spreadsheets that you made, all the hours that you put in, it may have actually been used to figure out how to stop the free-to-play players or how to stop progression, you know, to build their pay-to-win system. And, well, we cannot deny that possibility. Maybe that's exactly what happened. We don't know. We'll never know unless Blizzard tells us. But take our perspective for a second. We're just, that the alpha was pretty good, right? Pretty decent. None of that bullshit that is currently in the game. And, you know, we wanted to try our best. You know, we were honored that we got the chance to test it, and we were trying to advance the game. And then we got the announcement that the game was going to be delayed, and we thought it was going to be even better because of that. But we read on, and let's see how it goes. By the way, there's a ton of effort into updating the guides here, because we could do a lot more in the alpha. So it took us so many hours to update it, but we're on pace here. Then came the beta. I'll be totally honest with you. This is the section that I played the least. I logged in, I leveled up, and it looked kind of the same to me, and everybody else was blasting, and I was playing Lost Ark, and I had so many other things. I transitioned a while ago. I transitioned out of being on individual teams. I used to lead the Immortal branch. I gave it to Lee, my brother. He led it all the way up until today. And I transitioned out of that role into being more of into helping all of the teams. So help the Lost Ark team, help the D2 team, help every team. And we'll get started on some other projects here. But with all the things I was doing, I didn't really blast the beta, but the rest of my teammates did. And the beta just got worse. It just got worse from the alpha. So first of all, a lot of the core problems with the game hadn't been fixed. And there was like a 7-month gap here. So we began to grow concerned that either, you know, maybe our feedback wasn't heard, or the feedback that we gave maybe was a lower priority, but we thought they were pretty major problems. And then, of course, came monetization, you know. We could see that there was unlimited spending. We could say that legendary gems now gave combat rating. This didn't exist before. Resonance was way too strong, and it was like a completely pay-to-win stat. The free-to-play experience was awful due to crafting costs. They did improve it, but you know, it's still super terrible. It doesn't help you at all. Still can't get legendary crests. You can't upgrade your stuff. Overall, it's just pound for pound worse. But still, we gave lots of feedback. We still put in the hours to update it, and we're ready for launch. Then comes the release, right? And from all the effort that we put in for years and years and years, one extremely disappointing thing here is they made a lot of changes from beta to release, and it made some parts of some of our guides inaccurate. Let me just give you one example. Wizards. We said wizards are the worst because they were the worst. Ask any wizard player to tell you the same thing. And we said things like, you know, the channeling with disintegrate, with the ice crystal, it's stupid. It's terrible. Don't use that. It was terrible. Don't use that. But then it got really buffed and everyone started using it. They're like, why did Maxroll say it was so bad? Well, it was so bad, but it was buffed right before released and we didn't have any idea. And so that's why it ended up that way. So there were a lot of things on our site that were very frustrating that, you know, we didn't know that they were going to change, and surprise, they're changed, and now we have to do so much work to fix it. It's just the nature of the beast in writing guides, right? Anyway, so it came out, and pretty much all of our worst fears were realized as we wrote. A lot of the issues that we had talked about for a long time had not been fixed. The free-to-play experience was just as bad as ever, if not worse. The shop was the same thing from the beta, except it was worse. Now it actually had all these bundles, and some of the bundles actually just directly sold you the 5-star gems. There were more caps and hidden caps, and there was no reason to grind anymore. So one thing about this that maybe is a misrepresentation is we knew all along that in some capacity it was going to be pay to win. You pay money, you get an advantage, you have an advantage, you should win. We understand that. That's how mobile games are. We know that. The thing that has really, really disheartened us is the severity of it, right? The difference between a free-to-play player and a whale is just so ridiculous that there's really no point in playing if you want to compete in anything. And we thought, of course, this was Blizzard's opportunity, going back to the alpha again, to put in a year of development, have it be a really awesome game, to be the first mobile game that isn't just infinite pay-to-win nonsense, but that's not what we got. So we put in so much time into this branch. I cannot explain to you how hard it is to write a guide. Maybe there are people out there in the comments section that work on websites, you know, that can look at one of these guides here. Here, let's just pull one up here. Maybe you guys could take a look at one of these and, you know, get a glimpse of how long it takes. Give me 1 second here to pull one up. Let's just pull up a build guide, pull up a Demon Hunter guide. Let's look at the overview. Why not? You know, I don't even know where to begin. The featured image, you know, how to make this thing and all the socials, how to put the about dread scythe, how, you know, how to structure these, how to put in the spacers, how to color this properly, how to make all of these embeds, then actually embed them all, how to make this line up in the GIF, you know, it's so much work, man. How to make this with every single skill, with when you get it, the cooldown, what the charms give you, what type it is. I think you could understand. We have, I think there's 180 guides on Diablo Immortal branch, 180, and it was only because of the tremendous work of our team. Only because of Lee's work, Rob's work, Lexi's, Echo Hacks, Dread's, Greg, I was on the team, and Woody. Woody helped as well a lot. Thank you guys. Thanks for all your godly work. We really appreciate it. So we go in. Why did we decide to do this? Well, we don't do it lightly. The number one thing is by far the biggest reason, and it's something that we talked about a lot, is, you know, just the pay to win aspect. But, you know, we take a little bit of a sense of responsibility, especially with like the gambling addictions. We saw actually a couple of times on our streams, and we have to take these comments seriously, where somebody said, hey, Rax, don't tell my wife. I couldn't help myself. I just plugged another $1,000. Let's roll those crests. And you have to take those comments seriously. And, you know, it's really not something to joke about at all. You know, gambling can really ruin lives. And that is never something that you want to read, and something we take very seriously. It's the thing that we talked about the most. And are we part of the problem? Are we part of the problem for streaming it? Are we part of the problem for making guides on it? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And ultimately, we said, yes, we will be a part of the problem unless we back out. And, you know, we take, at least I do, and I think everybody does, I take tremendous pride in being a part of this website and trying our best all the time and trying to do the right thing. And I think if we continue to update this game and pretend like this isn't a problem, then we are part of the problem. So we're going to cancel this before even the first update, and we'll get to that in a second. Second reason is probably pretty obvious: the disengagement and the response from the community. It's been overwhelmingly negative, right? And a lot of the reasons that we're disengaged, we're blasters, is because we are a little bit surprised at how some of the things were released after a lot of the testing and feedback. And by the way, it's not just Maxroll. It's not just us. There were a lot of other fantastic content creators who were testing and leaving feedback as well. We're not the end-all be-all, right? But it's very surprising. The unrewarding gameplay that has to do with the caps, and there's nothing to do, and you log in and you just do, you know, your faction dailies and yada yada yada. And yeah, I mean, what's the motivation to log in? I haven't logged in like 4 or 5 days, not one time. I was planning to do my dailies. You hear me say that in my previous video. I don't even do that anymore. Don't even log in. I quit the Immortals, by the way. By the way, being a shadow is better than the Immortals. And we said that, I think, in the alpha and the beta. And still on launch, it's better to be a shadow. I mean, the whole point is to try to win the immortals, right? That's the whole point of the game. It should be way better than being a shadow, but oh well, whatever. Money isn't everything. Even with all the bad publicity that Immortal has, if we kept our Immortal branch going, it would generate revenue from Maxroll, just to let you know. So we're not just going through money. We're trying to do the right thing, stick to our core values, and we're walking away from all the work that we did, the time, the missed events from our family and obligations. We meet every Saturday for at least an hour or two on every single team. Lost Ark, Immortal, D3, D2, whatever we do in the future. PoE, if we do Last Epoch, if we do Diablo 4, whatever it is. We have a team and we meet weekly to discuss how do we make these guides? How are we progressing? How do we come together as a team to get this all done? It's a lot of work. And we're just saying goodbye. And we're even giving up our future earnings. So. And the one key thing that I said we would get to, and here it is lack of remedy. So we asked ourselves, what would it take for us to reopen this branch? We're not going to delete our guides. We'll just hide them. But aside from everything, we need the infinite pay-to-win system to be gone to fix, problem number one, this gambling thing. And we need free-to-play players to actually have, a chance in the game and have some fun. But we don't envision Blizzard being able to implement something like this, because of the current economic model. Let's say that they normalized PvP. I said it's fair for everyone now. Do you want to come play? Well, I don't think they will do that because now the whales can charge back all of their money, right? That seems like a fair reason for them to ask for all their money back. Is Blizzard going to give all the money back? I doubt it. Are they going to open up a free-to-play server? No, because that would destroy the ecosystem, right? Whales and the ecosystem swim around and need to eat the minnows and the plankton. If the minnows and the plankton go to the free-to-play server, who are the whales going to beat up on, right? We don't think a remedy is possible that would fix this. So one thing about shutting this down is we are going to keep our guides up for a little bit because we care about you guys. If you guys have some guides that were really helping you, we don't just want to pull the plug and say that you can't read them. Go ahead and read them. Copy the information if you want. Don't worry about it. And one thing that I want to mention about this, there were some people that came into my stream and other streams and have said some things on the internet that said, Rax, I can't believe you and your team copied this other site's guide. It's word for word the same guide. I can't believe that you did that. I can't tell you how offensive that is to me. We had a team. Here they are. You see their faces. You see them streaming. You can talk to them on Discord. You can ask them whatever questions you want. They'll prove to you that they know this game. That worked on this for 2 years. We wrote those spreadsheets. We wrote those Word docs. We met every Saturday over and over and over. And if you think we did all of that to just copy some other site's guide and claim it as our own, I find that offensive. There's no way you actually believe that, right? Please tell me that that was just a joke. It's very offensive to all these people that have put so much time into trying to make these guides as good as we can for you. So please don't say that, guys. And it's just not true. All of our work is our own original work on every single branch. And in the event that we would ever use content from somebody else's guide, we would always ask them permission and credit them. We have done that in the past. I can show you an example on the D3 section that we worked on. But our work is our own. It's a critical core value of ours. We're never going to copy anything from any site. Well, Rax, why are the guides the same? I'll let you figure that one out. You're smart. You can figure it out. One thing that I should say, in case anybody's worried about this, if you're worried about this, then that's nice of you, but it's not a concern, is our team is fully on board with this, right? We made this decision together. We did all this work together. We did all these guides together. Had a huge meeting. We discussed it for like 3 hours last Saturday on exactly what we should do. We've grown pretty close, man. Everybody on Maxroll, I would like to think we're a pretty tight-knit bunch. I know a lot about these guys from working with them for 2 years, and the D3 team is fantastic. The Diablo 2 team is fantastic. Haven't gotten to work with them as much, but I got to play with them a lot going for the world record. So love the D2 team. The Lost Ark team has just dominated, man. These guys have done so well. I'm so proud of the Lost Ark branch. Path of Exile is coming soon. Get ready for that, guys. We're going to try to take a very complicated game and make it digestible for you. Don't sit there and think like, oh, Maxroll as an entity swept the rug out from these poor content creators and they took all their work and then just quit on them. That's not what happened. We made the decision together. I openly invite you. Reach out to any of our teammates and ask them how it went. Maybe they'll make videos as well. So now we look to the future. Maxroll will continue. We're going to continue dominating. Diablo 3 is going to come out with Season 27. We'll cover it in full. Again, we're launching Path of Exile coming. We're thinking about some other titles as well. Let's see what other ones are looking promising coming forward. And we really appreciate you guys. And I hope that this decision is well received by you guys. But I guess the internet will tell us very soon what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments. What do you think? I will read it. And yeah, I gotta be honest, man. I'm very, very disappointed, man. I'm just so disappointed in the game. I planned on playing the game for a good amount of time. I planned on making a lot of guides for this game. I planned on working for Maxroll for this game. And we thought this was going to be a game that was going to get the most updates of any game. And it was going to actually require pretty much the most manpower, female power. I don't want to alienate genders here. The most power to keep it rolling. But no. Instead, we're closing it. I would have never guessed this. Again, we knew it was going to be pay to win, but not like this. You know, in the Matrix, not like this. Not like this. Anyway, that's it. So, Maxroll's done with Diablo Immortal. What do you think? That was a little bit of a background. See you in the next one, guys.